my FPL Game Week 31 Transfer Plans. I currently have 8 flagged players in my team. Yes, 8. So I've got 2 free transfers. I could potentially use those and some hits, or I should consider playing my wildcard as well this week. We have another deadline on just Tuesday, so not a long time to make those decisions in our FPL team. So today, I'm going to take you through what I plan on doing in my Game Week 31 team selection. What is up, everyone? Welcome back for another video. FPL Harry here. Before we dive in, 1,000 likes is the aim. Subscribe if you are new around here as well. My Game Week 31 team is looking all over the place. Now, in theory, I've got 8 flags at the moment. Luckily, Gabriel and Saka look like they're okay. I'm recording at halftime of the Manchester City Arsenal game, and I have to say that game has been boring so far. But let's hope for some more in the second half. And yeah, so that means I've still got 6 players yellow flagged. And I know the first thing you're going to be asking me is, Harry, should you be wildcarding? Should I be wildcarding this week? Of course, I do have 2 free transfers. Could take a potential -4 to sort it out. So I'm not planning on playing my wildcard this week. I am planning on using my transfers and taking a couple of hits, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And there is reasoning for it. So the reason is Game Week 34 and Game Week 37, the 2 big double game weeks that we have predicted, are predicted to be completely different teams that are going to double in 34 and 37. So if you wildcard before Game Week 34 without a free hit, it's very difficult to navigate those 2 game weeks. So the best you can do is have a full 11 of doublers out in Game Week 34, have a bench of doublers ready for 37, and use your 3 free transfers to get to 7 doublers for Game Week 37. So 11 plus 7 gives you 18 doublers in total before you take any hits. Now, if you play your wildcard in between, you get 11 doublers is my plan in Game Week 34, 15 doublers as part of my bench boost in Game Week 37, which is 26 doublers. That is 8 extra fixtures for my team if I save my wildcard. Now, the wildcard is very valuable. We've seen injuries as well. Those 8 fixtures, if we give them 4 points, every transfer is worth 4, every fixture on average is worth 4. That is 32 points. I feel like I'm better off by saving my wildcard till later down the line. Now, I might take a -4 this week. I might take a -8 this week, but we're not getting anywhere near to that -32 that I would have to take in theory for me to think that using the wildcard now would be worth it. So I'm not going to be using the wildcard this week, and I am going to be taking hits to just get through. Now, my team for this week does look a little bit all over the place. Areola is flagged, so we are starting Kaminsky in goal at the moment away at Arsenal. If Areola was going to be okay, I could play him at home to Spurs. It's probably a better fixture than Kaminsky. Into defense, at the moment, it is Gabriel and Zabani, 2 of my defenders who are actually fit. Kieran Trippier is yellow flagged. Gusto is yellow flagged, and Alfie Doughty is yellow flagged, all of which feel like major doubts going into midweek. Plus, Alfie Doughty feels like the one we might get minutes from, but he was away at Arsenal, so I don't even want to play him this week. Moving into my midfield, Saka, Son, Foden, Palmer, all fine. Happy with them. Anthony Gordon, owning Anthony Gordon in that early kickoff was a crazy roller coaster, right? He got 3 assists. He got sent off. Apparently he hurt his hamstring as well. He played on, but 3 assists and red carded, now suspended. So in theory, he's in my starting lineup because we'll talk about him leaving my team in a moment. Then up front is Haaland and it is Slanky. And on my bench is Watkins, who is not only away to Manchester City, he went at halftime as well. So I've got 2 free transfers and I do plan on using both of them. Of course, I will be buying Mo Salah this week. He will be in my team for Game Week 31. There is absolutely no doubt about that. So we've spoken over the past couple of weeks that I might sell Foden, Son or Gordon to go and buy Mo Salah. And it looks like the only simple route for me now is to sell Anthony Gordon, who is now suspended. Now, I could just bench him for his suspension and sell Son or Foden, but I don't think that's the way that I'm going to go. So Gordon up to Salah is the planned move in my midfield. And then to free up the money, I'll be downgrading both Kieran Trippier and Ollie Watkins as part of a -4. That has always been the plan this week. Now, that gives me 10.7 million in the bank to buy a defender and a forward this week. It's not a lot, but it is enough to get a few potential options. Now, starting off with replacements for Kieran Trippier, there are quite a lot of good cheap defenders. The 2 that I'm really looking at are Ben White of Arsenal, 5.7 million, very good going forward, good attacking threat and good clean sheet potential, nice run of fixtures, and we're all buying, defenders and attackers who double in Game Week 34. and they have that double in game week 34 against Wolves and Chelsea. The other one is 8 Nori. The fixtures are slightly better than Arsenal's. I think Arsenal have Brighton and then they have Aston Villa in there, whereas 8 Nori has West Ham, he has Burnley, he has Nottingham Forest. The double does include Arsenal, which is not as great, but the attacking threat, and he is a little bit cheaper. The only other one that I could potentially go with is Munoz at Crystal Palace. Again, 4.5, playing very attacking, but I am looking at some other Crystal Palace players, and I don't want to be too heavily invested in them. Now, next up is those replacements for Ollie Watkins. I'm going to have to go cheap. I cannot go to Darwin Núñez. I do not have the money unless I was to sell Son this week. If I did Son to Salah and downgraded Watkins to Darwin, I could afford it. But I think Son is more important to me over the next few weeks than getting Darwin. I do plan on getting Darwin, but not until game week 34 is the plan, probably in place of Erling Haaland before I wildcard in game week 35 and can buy Haaland back. So Watkins will go to a cheap forward. Originally, I looked at Matheus Cunha, but he wasn't in the Wolves squad at all. So I can't really be buying him with any sort of confidence given he's just come back from injury, was pictured in training all week and then wasn't involved. I could go to Muniz at Fulham, but as I said, I'm really targeting those doubles. So the two that I come down to is Semenyo at Bournemouth, 4.5 million. A decent double. Both of them are away from home, but has looked pretty good. And if you remember in game week 28, did very well in the last double. And then the other one, I've spoken about him for a few weeks. He scored again this weekend and picked up maximum bonus. And that is Philippe Mateta of Crystal Palace. 4.9 million, 2 home games in the double. He does feel very nailed at the moment, but he is probably the one that I look at. I have slightly less assurity that he starts both in the double because Odsonne Edouard could play in its place. So at the moment, I think the most likely plan is Gordon to Salah, of course. Trippier to probably 8 Nori. I think Ben White is the best defender I could buy. But there are so many other Arsenal players I also want. Like I could go and attack, double up on attack. David Raya is also tempting. I need a new goalkeeper soon. So I think I'll go 8 Nori based on the short-term fixtures. I have Gabriel as well. And then Watkins to Mateta. This will be for a -4. It will free up all the money I need to do that upgrade of Gordon to Mo Salah. Now, the only other thing to mention is I do have a bit of a goalkeeper crisis in my team at the moment if Areola is flagged. You can see up top at the rotation that I'm having my goalkeepers before my game week 35 wildcard. Areola, Kaminsky, Areola, and then Kaminsky. Some okay fixtures in there, not great, it's okay. But if Areola is injured, I'm relying on Kaminsky every week, which I do not want to do. So I am considering an extra -4, which would give me a total of a -8 this week to buy a better goalkeeper and a goalkeeper who doubles in game week 34. So not only would that goalkeeper give me better fixtures over the next 3 weeks when I'm playing against Spurs, I've got Bournemouth in there for Kaminsky, Areola against Fulham is okay, and it will give me a double in game week 34. So the top 3 goalkeepers I'm looking at is going Jose Sarr of Wolves. Now, if I go 8 Nori, do I want a double up on the defense for Wolves? I'm not 100% sure of that, but the short-term fixtures are the best. They have the best run of fixtures between now and when I want to wildcard. Henderson at Crystal Palace is the cheapest. He's a nice enabler. 2 home fixtures in the double, so the double is slightly better than Wolves, but 2 of the next fixtures are Manchester City and Liverpool. And finally is David Raya. Now, as I said with Ben White, same applies for David Raya. I'm not 100% sure where I want my third Arsenal to be. They do have Luton at home this week, which could be a great week if I wanted to go and buy Raya or Ben White or any of my third Arsenal as well. So looking at those potential transfer plans for this week, I'm not going to be playing my wildcard. It would take a lot for me to play my wildcard ahead of game week 35. That is the plan. But that week cannot come soon enough for me with the chaos that we have got. Now, the plan is Trippier out, Gordon out, and Watkins out. The Watkins replacement is almost, I feel, very likely to be Mateta. Gordon up to Mo Salah, and then it's just finding who I want to buy in the place of Kieran Trippier. I will likely have to make my moves on Sunday evening. At the moment, it would probably be 8 Nori, Mateta, and then buying Salah in midfield because Salah is likely to go up in price. Trippier is likely to drop in price. Watkins is likely to drop in price. Several other price changes that could potentially impact my team as well. I haven't fully decided, but I do think I'll have to move early tonight on Sunday evening once all the games are finished, once I've had a little bit more time to review. But I do think that 8 Nori coming in, Salah coming in, and Mateta is the most likely scenario. So that would put me in -4. I'm not sure unless Areola is completely ruled out for the next few weeks. Then I will consider an extra hit to buy a goalkeeper. If not, then I might just play Areola in the place of Kaminsky. In terms of captaincy, I really like Saka and Salah for me this week. But if Salah comes in at home to Sheffield United, watching that Liverpool-Brighton game without him was scary enough. So Salah is captain, Saka is vice captain. I like Haaland as well, but that's where I'm falling at the moment. Any questions you have, of course, it's a very, very quick turnaround, a Tuesday deadline for game week 31. So if you have enjoyed, 1,000 likes to the game, subscribe if you are new around here. Leave any questions you have for your team ahead of the close deadline, and I'll be back again very soon.